Welcome to another beautiful day in Caesarea Maritima, at the seashore of Israel. I'm just 30 minutes or 40 minutes by car from Tel Aviv, and Haifa, let's say, is another half an hour to the north. As you can see, right now I'm the only tourist here, which is a little bit sad. Not a little bit, it's a lot. There is a rumor that at the end of this month, September, tourists will arrive to Israel. Yes, until they will arrive, I won't believe it. This is the history of the city. There's so many things to see here, so many events happens here. But let's talk about the beginning. A small village with a small port, because there's no water source here, and it's called Straton's Tower. And later on, King Herod built the city here because he found water solution, like he built the aqueducts. And it started from 22 BC until 10 BC, and that's the festival started. Later on, the Romans that control Israel decided that that is the best Roman city to stay and to rule Israel from, and that's what they did. And in that case, Pontius Pilate, as I believe, was here as well. St. Paul, for the Christian of us, was arrested here for 2 years, and from here he went to Rome because he was a Roman citizen, to be judged there, and that was the end of it. Another important thing that started here is the first Jewish revolts against the Romans, mainly because it was so difficult for the Jews to live here under control of the Romans. And look at that, the pagans majority massacred 20,000 of the city Jews. That is really, really bad. Later on, we had the second revolt. It's called Bar Kokhba revolt, but it might be more interesting for you, well known for you by Caesar Adrian, who controlled Israel at that time, and Rabbi Akiva, one of the most important rabbi, and other leaders of the Jews, tortured and died here in Caesarea. At the beginning, Christianity wasn't a legal religion. Then they tortured a lot of them, and Origen is one of the most important fathers of Christianity. He wrote so many books about he translated the Bible as well to 5 different languages, and then the Christians became the Romans converted themselves into Christianity, and had some problems with the Samaritans, and then the Persians conquered, the Islamic conquered, the Byzantine came back and built the city again and again. Arabs destroyed the city, and then the Crusader came, and then the Arabs, and then the Crusaders came again. And think about the French King Louis IX, mainly because he built the walls that we're going to see later on. And then the Muslims came. You got the message. Let's see the model of the city. And by that, I want you to understand that what you're going to see is only a small part of it. That's the harbor that King Herod built, and we will talk about it, but we are right here. Actually, we are right there. You can see the theater in front of you, and then some other places like the palace of King Herod, that Pontius Pilate and the other governments of the Romans use it. The amphitheater and the Hippodrome, the horse race area, some rich villas, and another part that covered with walls, and that was used to be part of the Roman city. But the walls are actually, most of them are Crusader walls, mainly because the Crusader didn't need that big part. What they wanted is the connection to the sea. Then the first wall that you see is the Roman wall, but the Byzantine city was much bigger than that. See, the second walls belongs to the Byzantine. Then in that case, everything that you see here, or most of it, we didn't excavate yet. There's so many things to see and visit. Then, are we ready? Yes, we are. Before we will reach those marble statues, let me tell you that you will have more information about Caesarea at the description, and at the description of that video you will find ways to talk to me, to connect me via Facebook, via Instagram. One thing that you must know from the beginning: King Herod, that built that city, never used marble. It was too expensive and he had to import it. There's no marble in Israel. Usually when I actually look at that, as a child, I imagined how big was the statue. But now we found it just like that. It's actually a symbol of a certain doctor, and I think you know exactly what kind of a doctor. Another important statue is about the god of wine, Dionysus. And why it's so important? Because the theater patron is Dionysus. You can see the grapes right here. Pure marble. And at the time of the Romans, the marble that you actually see wasn't white. They used to color it. But although there's so many beautiful marble statues here, the one that I like is that. Such a small one, but it looks like the Good Shepherd. Is that one of the first Christians statues in Caesarea? It might be, or maybe it's just, the Good Shepherd. Let's go through the Roman theater. Oh, what I wanted to, yeah, it's gonna be hot today. Very hot. It's around 30 degrees. Oh, look at that. I don't know if you can see it. The sun is in our eyes. Can you see the lizard? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see it. I hope that you can see it too. Then we are now entering to the theater. That theater was built by King Herod. Remember the Romans wall that we saw at that model? Here it is. That was the end of the city at the Roman time. Immediately, here you can see that 1/3 of the theater is gone. Then the theater that you will see was bigger than that one. Let's enter through the Voltorium. What? It sounds like we are, yes, it is. Think about what's happening at the end of the show. Everyone goes together and it looks exactly like, yes, Look at the ancient mosaic. And da-da-da-da, we are the only one here in that theater, and you can hear me out of tune, but I don't mind because no one can see me now, except you, of course. Around 4,000 seats were here. A theater is very important because of so many reasons. First of all, it's a symbol to, all right, I'm a Roman city. Then this is the first theater ever because that city was the first Roman city in Israel, built by King Herod himself. That was at the time of Augustus. And Augustus knew that if we will give the people bread and entertainment, they will be happy. And now they will be able to do whatever they want. That was his motto. And King Herod lived in his time. King Herod almost died in his time because at 31 BC, Augustus had a huge fight between another Roman ruler, Antonius. And you know Antonius because Cleopatra was his wife, and King Herod was for them. And he lost. And King Herod knew that this might be his last hours on earth as a ruler and as a person. Then he decided to do something, and I'm not sure that everyone will be able to do that. He went to Rome and asked for his forgiveness. And Augustus knew immediately, oh, that crazy man is worth a lot. Let me use him just like he will use me. And he gave him even a bigger part to rule in Israel. And one of the first things that he did, he built himself, he built for him a city by the name Caesarea, by his name. And he named the port of the city Sebastos by the name of Augustus. And he built a temple for Augustus and the goddess Rome. Then in that case, he knew what he's doing. Smart people. We love to hate Herod. We know that Herod tried to kill the innocent children, but he was a genius. He built so many things. He built a Jewish temple. He built Herodion. He built Masada. He built so many places in Jordan of today, in Cyprus, that he knew what to do. Then a little bit about the theater. Most of the things that you see here is modern. Mainly because they turned later on, when they the rulers destroy the temple, they use it as a fortress. And the only original seats are at the first row, and we will actually go and visit it soon. Another thing that you can see here is a beautiful marble floor, and you know already that the marble is not so well known at the time of King Herod, and it wasn't. The Romans who controlled the city later on covered it with marble, and then they could use their orchestra, that's the name of that area, as part of the show. They can float it with water and a marine battles like the 301 battle can be shown here. Amazing, isn't it? Such a beautiful place. And they have the best acoustic point at a stage. And suddenly, there's no one there to do something. I want them to sing for you, but no one will sing a bit for us because I'm the only one. Let me walk down to the orchestra and I will sing you a song. No, I won't. Today, as you can see, we are using it as a theater, mainly for music. We do have a huge battle in Israel between the Sephardic Jews music and the Ashkenaz one. Sephardic music is of Jews who came from Arabic country, mainly from Arabic countries, and it sounds like, the Americans tells me that it sounds like Arabic country music, and the Ashkenaz one, the rest of the Jews, they have very beautiful songs. The Sephardics got amazing songs. They're controlling now the pop music of Israel, but it's difficult to understand the lyrics. It's like someone went to the computer and asked the computer to find some words for their song. one of them who sings like that is, at least he used to be, the most important singer of Israel, and that is Shlomo Artzi. Maybe I might add the link for Shlomo Artzi YouTube channel, then you will hear what I'm talking about. I love Shlomo Artzi. But you know what? He is a little bit, his lyrics is a little bit strange for me. Remember, the most important part of that theater is the seats in the front. And what you can see here are the original seats. I believe that King Herod and maybe later on Pontius Pilate used those seats. Oh, the crown says yes, he did. Another important thing that you must know is that a theater is not only a theater, it's mainly a temple. That's why when the Romans convert themselves into Christianity, the theater wasn't the best place for them. Look how beautiful it is. And you can hear me singing. And I'm not good with it. The Scanophones was here, which is the backstage. Although if you will turn down that black curtain, you will be able to see the sea. At the time of the Romans, they built here Scanophones because of the acoustic. Oh, beautiful. It is. Let me see if we can walk down to the lower part of the stage to see where the artists were. It's usually closed, but now it's not usually time. Alright, you can see here the list of the songs of someone. Let me see. Maybe there's a list here. I don't know what it is, but it sounds like I don't know. I took a video of the list of the songs, and I will try to look for it later on. Can you feel the tension of the artist now? The crowd is already there, shouting, waiting for them to enter. Modern life, modern life. I thought I will be able to go out from the other side, but no. Or at least let me see if now it's closed. Then we will have to go all the way. Are you ready? Yes. Think about your best singer. And he is now climbing with you to the stage. And you can hear the audience that waited so long for it. You can hear clapping and shouting, yay! Yay! Yes, I'm strange, I know. But that's happened because for the last 1.5 years, I'm not working. There are no tourists. I saw 2 ladies. Looks like one of them is another tour guide. Maybe she's doing the same thing as I'm doing. Or maybe she is just guiding someone. You know what? Let's hope that's what actually happened to her. Now let's talk about the stones. It's gray, it's sandstone. Boring, but it wasn't like that. When King Herod built it, he covered it with plaster. Then you can see the plaster around you, all over, and then he painted on it. that nothing was grey, my friends. Nothing was grey. That's the main artist. Oh no, sorry. The government and actually that side. Then maybe Pontius Pilate or King Herod used it as well. וברכה, את מורת דרך. רואים מיד. ואת?
אני אימא שלה.
אוקיי, רואים מיד, ממש נפלא. נעים מאוד צחי. She was a tour guide, and next to her, it was her mother. Backstage, still part of the theater, and what's that? It looks like another theater. We don't know. Maybe it was a temple. Maybe it was a temple that connected to the theater, which was a temple, or maybe the VIP here at some parties with wine and good food. Choose whatever you want. In that archaeological park, you will see so many things from the scanophones. What is the scanophones? Let me show it to you. If that is the theater that you saw, this is the scanner, which is the stage and the backstage. It was covered against the sun. Beautiful, isn't it? And that is the black curtain that you see there. Without it, you could see the sea, which is beautiful, but you will hear the waves, and the acoustic will be so-so. A lot of the scanophones are made with marble, which tells us that it's not from the time of King Herod. There are a few things that I want you to see. Columns. You can find so many columns in the Greek and Roman places. That's what's happened when you're doing it with sandstone, the local stone. That's what will happen if you actually build it with marble. See the difference? But that one is more important for me. Remember, until the 4th century, you couldn't say that you are a Christian. It was a non-legal religion. But look at that. Da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da. It might be one of the first Christian capitals in Israel and Caesarea. Oh, sorry. I'm talking a lot. And about that, some people actually don't like me talking. Then there are more options of someone else who's create excellent videos, and he doesn't talk. But that's what I love. It's like 30 degrees now. And what? And if I won't talk, I will die. All right, then. Sarcophagus, which are tombs. You can see the differences between sandstone and marble. You can see the two crosses here. And it's Greek. But let's talk about why Caesarea. King Herod could build Caesarea everywhere. He had just to kill people and then to build it. The best port was at Jaffa at that time, and Jaffa was here. But Jaffa was a big city. And as a big city, it was a little bit difficult for him to destroy it. That map shows you a few things. First of all, the location of Caesarea. This is Israel. And as you can see, it's a bridge between Africa, Asia, and Europe. Then if you wanted to conquer the world, you had to conquer Caesarea. You had to conquer Israel. because this is the bridge. And the red point tells you where the marble came from. And as you can see, there's no marble in Israel at all. Caesarea was, for King Herod, was a very important issue. It was a very important issue because he wanted to impress Augustus. He built it for him. And secondly, he knew that to earn money, you must move from Jerusalem, which is not on the highway, and move to the highway in Caesarea. And at the ancient time, when you took a boat from, let's say, Attica, Greek of today, to Alexandria, you had to do it through the seashore. And if you will build the best boat ever in the middle of the way, everyone will stop in your place. Smart, isn't it? And if you will build them, theater, amphitheater, hippodrome, places that they actually were looking for, think about visiting Manhattan, visiting Tel Aviv, then they will force the captain to stop and to dock in their place. And the port was so modern. Look at the granite, see different kinds of colors, and look at the marble, different kind of marble. Can you imagine how beautiful that city was? Now sadly I cannot go through there, then I will have to make a run tour. That we are at the end of the detour, but you can see the welcome to the time track. In two places you can actually visit air-conditioned places, and you can watch a video of 10 minutes about the history of Caesarea, a beautiful video. Then don't miss it. Sadly it's closed because there are no tourists. It's in, I think, 6 or 7 different languages. The last 2 years, because of the COVID, they renovated a lot and they excavated a lot, and I'm happy to tell you that there are new things here. But let's go to the viewpoint. For example, that concrete pavement here and there, and there, and here. And that's good because in wintertime, when it rains here, it's muddy. Caesarea National Park, say cheese. All right, one picture, another pose. Yes, excellent. I will send you the pictures. I was supposed to go out from there, but you know what? At least there are no tourists, and you will be able to enjoy it. Praetorium Palace. But before it, let's listen to the waves. This is the Mediterranean Sea. And to the left you can see the chimneys of one of the power stations, electric power stations. And before you will ask me, no, it's not the nuclear one, mainly because that is a fault area. And that's what King Herod didn't know, because his port, his harbor actually sank into the sea. And if we're talking about that, if you like to dive, even to snorkel, through here you can take special tools that will take you to the underground, or undersea actually, level of Caesarea. Let's go to Praetorium, the palace. You can see actually 2 parts of it. That's the first one, and that's the second one. It looks actually almost the same, but this is bigger. You can see that there's a kind of atrium. It's open space, and soon you will see why that one is so amazing. that I believe that King Herod built it, but I must tell you that some people believe that King Herod wasn't here or didn't live here. One of the reasons that I actually say it is that King Herod was afraid to be next to people. He didn't like people. If you go to Masada, you will see where he actually stayed. Then in that case, that is so close to the center of Caesarea. The theater, you can see a little bit of it here, there, and the Hippodrome, the horse race, and then the amphitheater was here as well. Then it's too close for him. I believe that King Herod stayed here because he knew that from here he can control Israel in a better way. The Romans needed too, then they actually moved their capital to here until the 5th century. That city was more important than Jerusalem for the Christians as well. Then let's go to visit the palace. If King Herod didn't live here, then Pontius Pilate lived here for sure. It's unbelievable, I'm the only one here. All right, 2 fishermen and one that actually works here. We will go to see later on what he's doing. And if he will be nice to us, he might tell me exactly what he's doing. Okay, that is not original. How do I know? Let me show you. Can you see the 1997? But that part is original. And you can see 2 levels of it. Mosaic, and above it, marble. Then that might be from time of King Herod, and that was from different times. Remember the open space here, and the rooms were there all over, and it's such an important place for so many Jews and Christians. Let's start with the Christians here. Let's look at the inscription. And let me tell you, the original is not here. The original is at the Israeli Museum, and I'm sure that at least 60,000 of you actually watched my video about the Israeli Museum. And if not, ask me via YouTube and I will send you the link. Can you understand at least one word here? Pilatus? Pontius Pilate? Ah, it is Tiberius, Pontius Pilate. He built it for Tiberius. We don't know where is the temple, but maybe remember the other side of the theater. Maybe that was the temple that was built to Tiberius by Pontius Pilate. It used to be part of the seats. They used it as like a secondary use, and someone was dancing on it, and when they deal with it, they realized that the word Pontius Pilate is here. This is one of the 2 only evidence, archaeological evidence, of the existence of Pontius Pilate. Amazing! Then that's the first palace. Some believe that it was built not at the time of King Herod, maybe it was built a little bit later on. You see the peristyle courtyard, and remember, columns and then rooms. We will talk about those rooms later on, but let's go to see the lower part of the palace. Are you still with me? Because it's going to be a long video. Maybe later on I will cut it into pieces. I mean, you will have a video of the theater, a video of the palace here, and so on and so on. And we are reaching the lower part. built by King Herod for sure. And guess what? Can you see it? Because the sun is in our eyes now. This is the private part. That part was for his friend, for the government, for the clocks. But King Herod was here for himself. And what he did, it was kind of an island, artificial island, and he built here a pool. Now you can say, all right, instead of enjoying the water of the Mediterranean Sea, he enjoyed a private pool. But no, this is not King Herod. King Herod built here a pool with fresh water, part of the aqueduct that came from the other side. Rich is pool. Genius. What can I tell you? Genius. And if you want to see how beautiful it was, then look at the mosaic floor. Here, and a little bit to there. It means that people used to sit around it. That's why the mosaic around is not the most beautiful one. And let's think about cushions, mattresses. And that was the biggest table in that palace. 2 stories building, forgot to mention it. Amazing, isn't it? But it's not the end. Because we know that Rabbi Akiva was judge here. We know that Paul was judged here and set here in such a prison. I don't know what the prison was, but that's where he was judged. Do-do-doom, do-do-doom. You can see that that part is totally not a private one. I mean, it's not like small rooms. Part of the Praetorium, part of the courtyard. Maybe the prisoners were here. Maybe Paul was here in one of those rooms for a few years, 2 years. But the most important sentence of his is, I appeal unto Caesar, from the book of Acts. Let's find a shady place. I'm kidding, there's no shade at all. St. Paul was here, mainly because when he reached Jerusalem, after he converted himself to Christianity, he had a vision. He met Jesus himself. He actually wasn't safe in Jerusalem. The Jews, Festus, actually sent him to tell the first Christian, the first Jews who kind of accepted Jesus, not to do that. And on the way to Damascus, he had a vision, he met Jesus, and he became a Christian. When he came to Jerusalem to pray at the temple, the Jews didn't like it. And although the sentences against the Jews were so horrible, they wanted to kill him. I believe that he wasn't a guest of honor in Jerusalem from that moment. Then, before they killed him, he was sent here by the Romans to be judged by the Romans themselves, because only them can do that. The Jews couldn't do that. It took Jews from Jerusalem 5 days to reach that area, and they started to talk about it, and they didn't reach an agreement, but because St. Paul say, I'm sorry, I'm appeal to the Caesar, I'm a citizen, I'm a Roman citizen, I'm not a regular citizen, I'm not a regular Jew, then only he can judge me. He stayed here for 2 years, and he met 2 of the rulers here, and he met Agrippa I, the nephew of King Herod, and they were talking, maybe here. I believe that it was here, and it's not the only story of that connected to Christianity. Now let's go to see the view. מה עושים שמה שאני אגיד להם? תאורה? חשבתי שגילו איזה משהו. All right, תודה. That's only to electricity. I thought that you will be the first one who will see that they found something special. A letter from Paul. Maybe the letters for Paul. Some of them were written here. I mean, he used this area when he actually visit Turkey, Cappadocia, and Teresos. And he actually, when he stayed here, he stayed at the house of Philippus, the evangelist, and his 4 daughters. Some are here, I don't know where. Some are there. Oh, there. When you do have time, I'm sending the group through there to mingle with the sound of the water and to dip their legs here. But when you are reaching here, please don't swim there. There's no, it's not a safe place. And if you're talking about a safe place, that is not a safe place too. This is the Hippodrome, horse race. Let's say 12,000 people used to sit there watching the view of the sea and see the horse race. Goes all the way to here. The best seats were here. Why the best seats were here? Mainly because when they are doing the U-turn, some of them are falling. Blood, 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 blood. And if we're talking about blood, let's talk about another event that happened here. From time to time, actually at the 2nd century, they built another horse race, a hippodrome, at let's say 1 kilometer from here, even less, because this is the best real estate. Then they use it as a market, and they used to close it here and to turn it into a gladiator and animal fights. And a lot of the Christians and the Jews that were ran against the Romans find their death here. Dum. You can understand why the Christians at the 4th century, the Byzantines, didn't use it as hippodrome, kind of a Colosseum, because it's so many of their people died here. The most important place was there, and that's where Caesar used to stay, King Herod, Pontius Pilate, you know, all the big one, the celebs, the government of the Roman government. And beneath it, and we will see it soon, you will see some holes, or like windows. That's where the horsemen used to bring their idols there to give them a little bit of luck. The one who didn't enjoy that luck is Agrippas, the first one. It was poison, as we believed, right there, and 3 days later he died. The Bible, the book of Acts, actually mentioned that the worms ate his body immediately. And that was there too. So many stories about Christianity. Another place that we don't know where actually happened, but as I believe it was on the upper part, because in the upper part you can find until today beautiful Roman mansions, and that is the house. That's where I believe the house of Cornelius was. We're going back to the book of Acts, and we know that Cornelius was a Roman government. He controlled 100 soldiers, but he was like so many of the Romans at that time. He believed in the Jewish God. He gave a lot of donation to the poor, and he was a nice man. But he wasn't a Jew. What he actually saw or felt is that he met an angel who told him, don't worry, God actually will answer your prayers. And he told him, ask for let me see, maybe you can see it, called St. Peter. That was in Jaffa. It's a little bit difficult to see. It's only 40 kilometers from here. Behind those skyscrapers, there's the city of Tel Aviv, and Jaffa is part of it. And he sent 2 servants who were believing in the Jewish God as well, and one Roman soldier to take St. Peter. Let's say goodbye to the palace of King Herod and Pontius Pilate. And let's move to the Hippodrome. I will talk about St. Peter later on. I reached already 45 minutes and it's only the beginning. We're entering to the Hippodrome, but on the way you will see something very beautiful. Hi. Look at that. Oh, shade. What's that? What's that? Lavatory, toilets. At that time, the people who enjoyed the Hippodrome had to know to go to the toilet. A human being. But in that time, women and men used to sit together. They had a long rest and no one saw their organ. The toilet seat itself didn't survive, but you can see that it was deeper than that. And look at that tunnel. You know what's happened to the men when they're taking the number one? The last drop. Then the water. And they're through here like a small aqueduct and takes everything out beneath the seats to the sea. In about 2 days from now, as I believe, because it's the Feast of Sukkot, which is 8 days of vacation, that place will be a real hippodrome, horse races. And you will hear King Herod talking whatever, and the rest. I've been there once in my lifetime, and I swear to myself not to do that again. Too many people, which I miss now. Those are original seats. Original seats. What didn't actually left are the colors that used to be there, and they used to paint it a lot because of the sea. You don't see me now, but I'm sweating as hell. It's 30 degrees, around 90 degrees Fahrenheit, and so humid. I'm sweating, but I'm happy. Chariot race, the Meta Prima. Here they used to make the detour, the U-turn, and a lot of them fell and maybe died or hurt in the arena. Now, why the arena is full with sand? Because if I will fall and I will hurt myself and you will see my blood, then the best way to clean it is by that. And here it is, the next race can begin now. You already know that this is not an original painting, but we found something like that here, but it's been destroyed because of the sun, because of the humidity as well, and the sea, but it looks like a marble. Remember, he had no marble. Then he painted on wet plaster with colors, and that's called fresco, and it looks like a marble thing. Let's go and find a shade. Pontius, are you there? Pilate, Agrippas, King Herod. Oh no, they're not here. Let's find herself a place to sit, but before that, if you're talking about animals, because you turn it into Colosseum, gladiator, and animal fights, then you can see the tunnels that the animals actually went through. The gate wasn't so, the wall wasn't so high, because most of the time it was used as a horse race. Then they used to put a net on top of it to avoid the animals to jump to the audience. And that where they used to put their idols. But who is above them? Pontius Pilate, King Herod, Agrippas, pastors. Let's continue with the story of St. Peter. That Cornelius asked St. Peter to come to here. I don't know what about you, but he was at the house of Simon the tanner, waiting for his meal when he had the vision of the sack full with non-kosher animals, and the angel told him to butcher them and to eat. With Peter, it's always 3 times. Then he opened the door, and he knew immediately that he's gone. I mean, just like Jesus, they will crucify him too. But they didn't. The servants and the soldier told him, Cornelius wants to meet you. He entered to his house in Caesarea, not before he served the 3 at Simon the tanner house, and then he came to here, and Cornelius told him the same story. And before that, I forgot to mention that Cornelius told the same story for the servants. Then in that case, 3 times. And later on, St. Peter will tell it to the Jews that were so disappointed that he actually turned a non-Jew into the new Judaism that now we call it Christianity. He entered to his house and said, you know that Jews cannot mingle with non-Jewish. Non-Jewish, it's usually the word for it is Gentiles. Then you cannot eat in their house. It's not a kosher house. It's not so easy to talk with. But Cornelius actually told him the story about the angel who came here when he was praying here at 3 o'clock, and then so on and so on and so on. And St. Peter, but he said, I felt something too, because remember the sack full of animals tells me that maybe not only Jews can be part of that religion. And then he felt the Holy Spirit. And the idea was, the scene was almost like the Pentecost scene. In the Pentecost, God told the Jews to spread this Christianity or this Judaism to the Jews. And this is where the first non-Jew was converted like others. He was baptized by by St. Peter here. St. Peter stayed in his place for a few days. But for us, Caesarea is important because from right now you can convert without any problem non-Jews, Gentiles, into the new Judaism, which we know it as Christianity today. Amazing, isn't it? What I'm doing now is the full tour, which means that I will have to go all the way back to the car later on. Usually I'm actually saying goodbye here, going back to take the car and moving the car to the other gate. But I felt the Spirit, and I must take you through the whole tour. That is one good reason to stay with me, because I'm sweating as hell. What's that building is doing here? I mean, if we are talking about Hippodrome or the horse race or the amphitheater, then why there's a building here? Remember when the Romans became Christians, they decided not to use it anymore. Then in that case, that was part of the market and part of the villas. Here you can see some other fresco that we found, and sadly it's not here anymore, of animals. You can see animals fight. Tiger. Ta-da-da. Am I the only one? Yes. Except of that woman that is making her teas about the amphitheater. I want to read it, but it will be ready. She will be ready in about a year, a few years from now. Welcome to a Roman villa. A palace, they call it. This is from the 6th century AD. Oh, the smell of it. Now they're talking about the amphitheater. You can see part of it. Oh, I don't know if you could see the waves. The sea is very angry now. Although this is a cool day. Not cold, just cool. Look at the beautiful sky. At the beginning we thought that this is a church, but then we realized that it's not. Before we will climb up to the upper part. Oh, look at that. A fisherman boat. Someone at the front saying, "I'm the king of the world." Beautiful, isn't it? The left part of that area, like that, that's how we found it. You can see there's so many layers. Archaeological section, different times. That's from the 4th century, and this is from the 3rd and 4th before BC, and that is from the 6th century, and on and on and on and on. Looks like that. There's so many pottery here, and you can find it by yourself. Here it is. They left it like that because they wanted you to understand what's happened here. Oops. That hut that you see here, it's called sukkah. It's 2 days before Sukkot holiday. Sukkot was mentioned, by the way, at the New Testament as well, and it reminds the Jews that there were 40 years in the desert. They used to sit in huts. Then Jews, until today, built something like sukkah next to their house and live there, eat there, and even sleep there for 8 days. And this year there will be no rain. That's how sukkah looks like. Let me take a picture of it. Here it is. Then the visitors can bring some food, sit here and enjoy the environment of the holiday. We're gonna climb from there to there, but before that I want to show you the circus. Remember the horse race? It's supposed to begin from somewhere, and this is the circus. Sounds familiar to you? Here it is. A family of 5 children is entering now. I can tell you that they are religious Jew. You will see the kippah. So nasty they are. because 5 children. Then that's where the race actually began. I know that I will reach my house almost dead. Then we saw where it actually begins, and you can see the Hippodrome, horse race, and we are climbing up. Yeah, I can see the keeper on their head. I call it light religious Jew. Father's got no keeper. I will tell it to the mother. And we are entering up to places of Roman villas and Roman bath as well. Gosh, it's hot. I will stop soon to drink something. If that is part of the hot tub, lockers, changing room. I wish that I could jump now, not to the hot water, to the cool pool, and in every Roman bath you could find cool pool. Oh, more tourists. Marble. Look how beautiful it is. If it's marble, you know already that it's not from the time of King Herod. A public bathhouse, which actually goes all the way to here. It's a huge one of the biggest. Looks like that. And you can find some beautiful mosaic floor, animals there. Beautiful. I will pay a lot of money just to sit and put my legs in that fountain, which will not use it anymore, which is not functioning. Beautiful. And let's see how beautiful is the villa and the mosaic floor as well. Go a little bit far from the children. See, now complaining there are people here. And look how beautiful it is. Part of the, I always say that this is part of the Roman bath, but someone mentioned that this is a villa and he's no better than me. You can see the sewage canal there and there. And I'm gonna stay here forever because it's shade. There's a lot of shade here. Oh, I don't know if you can see it. The lizard there. They enjoy the heat. I'm not. Again, beautiful mosaic floor. And shops. Because what about shopping? We love shopping. That road might be the corridor. The road goes from north, sorry, this is south, to north. Maybe not, maybe yes, but if that's the corridor, it means that this is only half of the Roman city and another half is there. Now it's a parking place. It's a parking lot. As you can see, a Roman house. Attached to the corridor. Maybe. Then we are walking on the main road. It might be not even the corridor. The corridor might be there. Because what we actually see now is only 10% of Caesarea. Shops. And storerooms in front of you from the Roman and Byzantine time. If that was the capital, people used to pay tax. Tax can be through money or through products. So many things here. I want to go to the public bathhouse. So hot, and this is only the beginning. A lot of inscriptions here. When people used to donate something for the public, they used to donate places, not money. It's like in the hospital today, at least in Israel, they're donating wings, special places. Look how beautiful is that mosaic floor. Amazing. Although I know that city by heart, I was starting from yesterday from 6 a.m. until 2 a.m. today. Because there's so many new things here. Okay, another Roman bath. Should I do that or not? Should I do that or not? Yes, I'm gonna do that. Oh, it is. That's where the seats were. And the storerooms is in front of you. In some of them we found adoration to Mitra, which was the most important patron of the Roman soldier. And so many people say that there is a connection between Jesus to them. And we found here the 12 apostles as well. The 12 are at the Israeli Museum. Remember my video? It's there. Oh gosh, birds. Shade. See, it was covered with plaster as well. And look at the floor. Roman and Byzantine time. And water with the sewage system. It's unbelievable. Such a beautiful place. That's the circus. Remember, we saw it from the other side. And look how beautiful is the Caesarea, the Hippodrome. You can see the palace. And the theater is not so far away from the white tent. When we reach the other part, I will stop that part of the video because I need to rest a little bit and to drink at least 2 liters of water. Look at that mosaic floor. Full with animals. Financial palace. The one who took care of the business here. The nation. Taxes. Yeah, to walk with a big bag on you, not so easy. Oh, that's the one who dedicated to the Persian god Mitra. Talking about the 2nd century. And if you think that this one is from today, it's not. It's at least from 800 years ago. And what about another bathhouse? Yeah, we want another one. Still no water. It's so sad. The Governor Palace bath from the Byzantine time bathhouse. Again, you can see the marble. Is that the end of the city? Not so. But I don't know if you remember at the model, you saw that the Hippodrome and the Hippodrome and the theater was outside the walls. That I mentioned that was built by Louis IX, Saint Louis, who came to here with a Crusader at the 13th century and built that wall with a moat in one here. The houses that you see on top of it were built by the Bosnian from Bosnia, Muslim Bosnia came to here when Bosnia conquered by the Christians. They say to the Ottomans, we don't want to live in a Christian place, we want to live in a Muslim place. That the Ottomans, set them here. Sadly, by doing it, they destroy a lot of the evidence from the Crusader time. And in 1948, a little bit before that, they realized that it's not a Muslim place anymore. Then they actually left that place. The Crusader had 3 gates, and this is the southern one. Let's wait for them to go. Glacier. Amazing. But the Crusader, they say, first of all, we don't need it. It's not important for us. What is important for us is the port. And that was the most important part. But at the time of King Herod, that was a very important site, and we will talk about it soon. Should I sit here and rest? No. Let's look at the map. We were here. We started from the theater. Oh, yeah. The sun doesn't help me a lot. We started from the theater. We saw the palace, Herod's palace. We saw the Hippodrome, and somewhere here we climbed all the way up to see the Roman bath and the Roman villa. We went back through the toilet and the storerooms to here, and now we saw the wall from there. This is the Bosnian house, and we just entered here. We will talk about that beautiful wall, but the first thing that you can see is that when the Crusader built something, they built with big stones. But St. Louis knew that there's so many enemies, Muslim enemies around, and he must protect himself immediately. Then he used the Muslim wall that used to be here and built his wall here with small stones as quick as he could. And the Crusader part will be in the next video. Now if it's okay by you, I must stop and rest a little bit. Then I will stop that video. And later on, we will continue with that amazing part and more than that. Then see you in my next video. If you didn't if you reach that point, it's like 1 hour and 16 minutes. Write me a message. Tell me that you are the brave one, that you did it. And don't forget to subscribe my channel if you didn't do that until now. See you in my next. This is the second part of Caesarea, or ancient Caesarea city. That is the part of Herodion and Crusader part. In front of you, you can see the Olympion fountain, just for fun. People can actually join here and sit here just before they're heading to the port or they are going out of the city. What you see there, and later on we will visit it, it's part of the Crusader walls that surrounded a small part of the Herodian city, mainly because the Crusader came for the port, the harbor, and for them the rest is not important. You know, the theater, the Hippodrome doesn't talk to them. They are surrounded with so many enemies, mainly Muslims enemy, and what they want is to survive. That part is the most touristic part, although the other part is amazing. And I might join those two videos together or not, I don't know. There are 5 different restaurants here. This is the only kosher one. It's called Aristo. Not connected to the toilet, excellent toilet. And not connected to the restaurant, excellent toilet, very clean, and shops, Israeli art, gelato, very good one, and the Crusader. Oh, well, now it's kosher, because until months ago he actually served shrimps, and beautiful Arabic food. Shrimps or not, I don't know, but the word kosher makes it like that. And up there, it's see the flag of Israel. It's another Greek Mediterranean restaurant with an excellent view. And Elena is right there. It's the most expensive one. It's a chef restaurant, and if you want just coffee, here it is. Port Cafe, it's a very good idea. An excellent view. But we're here for the port of King Herod. King Herod knew that if he will build the port here, everyone will dock in his place, especially if he will build it as a Roman beautiful city. And it's so disappointing, huh? Josephus told us that 100 battleships could dock here altogether. And look at that, it doesn't look so big. All right, let's look at that. It calls Sabatos by the name of Augustus. And what you're looking is only that part. The port, the harbor was bigger than that. Then we can understand it was so far away. Suddenly, most of it sank into the water because of the fault area. Then in that case we are not going to shake today. The entrance was from there, mainly because most of the wave and the sand came from the side of Egypt. In that case, it's been stopped here. he used a very special technique. He built rafts and put ash in it from basalt ash and some other material. When it touched the water, it sank and became to be a concrete. Beautiful. Just a beautiful place. And we are in the middle of the sea, because everything that you see now was part of that harbor. Everything. The harbor was one of the biggest and the most and the newest, so modern, and everyone wanted to dock here. And that's what we wanted, because if you will dock here, will use the facilities here, you will pay tax. It's a win-win situation. Then, see the green grass? That was the end of the sea. And from there, you can climb up to the podium that he built. It's artificial. On top of it, you could see, at the time of King Herod, a temple for Augustus in the shape of Zeus and the goddess Rome, and the temple was as big as the second temple in Jerusalem. Aha, big. You can see the vault that he built, that he used for storerooms. Then 1, 2, 3, 4. Beneath the stairs, there's another small 6th one. You can see 1, 2, and 3. And there's another 4. Symmetric. Beautiful. Sadly, they are renovating the stairs, and until, let's say, from next month, I think we will be able to climb it up. But now, I cannot. Then I will make a round tour. At the 19th century, the Bosnian Muslims from Bosnia came to here. Their country was occupied by the Christians, and they wanted to stay with the Ottomans. Then the Ottomans brought them to here. Sadly, they used a lot of the stones of the Crusader time. Then they flattened that area and destroyed all, a lot of the evidence. In 1948, they actually left Israel. They came for a Muslim place, and this is not a Muslim place anymore. It's a Jewish place. Then, then why we didn't destroy their mosque? We didn't destroy the mosque because by the Israeli law we cannot destroy holy sites. The mosque will always belong to the Muslims. The church will owned by the Christians, not by Israel. A synagogue will be owned by the Jews, not by Israel. Then in that case, we cannot destroy it. We must maintain it, and a few years ago we did it. We maintain it. It looks like almost like new. To your right, you can see the evidence of the Crusader wall. As you already know, if you watch my first video, St. Louis built it in 1 year with small stones, not like a regular Crusader system, but he used the wall that was belonged to the Muslims as well. For example, that part. Then it was wide. Oh, forgot to mention, there's a wonderful museum there. See where the two ladies are? Beautiful air-conditioned museum. Will tell you the story of Caesarea and King Herod. I'm not entering there mainly because I did a video that dedicated to it, and that video that we are taking now, it's going to be long as well. But let me show you. Then this is only already, see where the man is sitting on the stage? Right there. Now this is the top part of it. You can see the temple of Augustus. When the Crusader came, when the Romans became Christians, converted themselves to Christianity, they destroyed it and they built a very important martyrium church. And then the Muslim came, destroyed the church and built a mosque on top of it. And then the Crusader came. They didn't destroy the mosque. They actually used the mosque as part of their church and built another Crusader church next to it. And then the Muslim came. You got the message. That place is the holiest place here, the central of the city. Even now. And let's start to climb up instead of climbing the stairs. We will see a beautiful view of the Roman city. Remember, we entered to the city from the Roman part through there, through that gate. This is the southern gate of the city. There are 3 Crusader gates. Wow, it's not easy for that child. Let me help him, although I'm so clumsy, I'm afraid that I will destroy it. Beautiful workers here. Please, Itai, say hello. Hello, Itai. Let me try to help him. בוא ננסה לעזור לך קצת? לעזור לך קצת? בכיף. Then I helped him. Now I cannot breathe, but I made a mitzvah. The archers, you will see archers places everywhere, but it's strange in those 2. There's no other way to enter. There's no way to enter. In the rest, you will see there's a corridor that maybe they used a ladder to climb up. We're climbing up to the viewpoint. A lot of the wall here in that part is renovated. Oof, it's so hot. All right. If you remember the first video, we used the corridor. Before that, we saw the villa, which is under that roof. The Roman path, we went down to the Hippodrome, but before that we visit the latrine and the storerooms. You can see part of the Hippodrome. The flags there far, far away. It's the palace of King Herod. And the theater, it's not easy to see. See the chimneys? Before the chimneys, there's a white area. Between the white area, which is the parking lot, and the chimneys is the Roman theater. Beautiful. This is one of the towers of the city. Let me show you why there's a tower. Why the Crusader had to build towers here. Because it will be difficult for them to see the enemies without it. There's a black spot here, hidden spot. And look at the kind of the glacier. This is. And the moat without water. It's not like the videos that we see. A little bit afraid. Here it is. Beautiful, isn't it? Although I was planning to go straight to the temple area, to the churches area, let me take you a little bit more, at least until that part of the wall. If you remember, they built the wall together. They used actually the Muslim wall as well. Then it wasn't so thin, it was very wide. That is the Muslim one and the Crusader one. Then it was very wide. You can now walk through every inch of the Crusader part, another tower in front of you. But there's another important place here. From time to time, they could escape through the moat secretly, and if there's an enemy, to hurt the enemy. That is part of the wall that the Muslims destroyed. I'm not going down, mainly because you can see that the gate is closed. Most of the time, the Crusader realized that it's better to close it as well, and it was closed. People couldn't enter through here. People, I'm talking about enemies. You can see that there's more of the walls. Beautiful walkway. I mean, it's beautiful, but it's still hot now. Let's wait for October. I must say it's hot, but because it's close to the sea, there's a lot of breeze and humid. Beautiful. And you can see more. See where the arches there? To the left, we found a street, shopping street. Should I take in? You don't need to see it. Then let's make a round tour. They're still renovating it, and then it will be beautiful in about a few years from now. Someone forgot something, and now it's Thursday. Remember, 13th century walls built by Louis, including the other part and the moat. I'm not touching the bottles, mainly because of coronavirus. But if it was bottle of water, I will dare to do that, and I could water the plants here, which are suffering, waiting for the rain to come. I don't know if you can see something of it. I'm gonna fall. All right, we are leaving the Crusader walls, at least for now, and we are going to visit the temple area, if it's open. Although I think it's open because I saw some people watching the view from there. The word "if it's open" is only because of the construction that they're building there. Remember, I saw the stairs. Meanwhile, if this is your first video of mine, then please subscribe my channel and push the button. Then you will be able to see the latest videos of me. And at the description, you will see on options to connect me, emails, WhatsApp, and Instagram, and Facebook. Try to use my tour guide Facebook because it's in English and it's better than the Israeli one, which is mostly in Hebrew. And you can ask me whatever you want. You will find a link for Buy Me a Coffee. Buy Me a Coffee is only if you want to support me. And because I don't have tourists for almost 2 years now, the videos that I'm preparing is my only income. Here we are. They closed most of the places. Then let me see what we can see from here. It looks like a church, isn't it? Because it is a church. This is a beautiful Crusader church. Let me go a little bit further. Remember the vault, the museum that I show you? I'm above it now. Here it is. And I cannot go there. That is where the mosque used to be. Before the mosque, a Byzantine church. And before that, Augustus temple and goddess Rome as well. See, this is the end of the stairs, and one day I will be able to go climb all the way up straight to that area. I don't know if they will renovate it. I'm sure that they will, because it's quite an important place. But let's go to see the view. Oh, beautiful. We can actually see what we did until now. Two theaters, but we visit that one. And that's the first video. And you can see the palace of King Herod, Pontius Pilate, the Hippodrome that we visit, the city, mostly Roman places, Roman villas. We didn't find anything of the common people, like me. That's where the vaults are, and the stairs are not here. The Roman temple is in front of you, and this is the port. Where's the port? All right. From the green area until, let's say, 600 meters in the sea, cannot see it, that's the port. It was one of the biggest in the ancient world. Beautiful, so lots of breeze here. Amazing. Sadly, we cannot continue from there. That's what I wanted to do. Then we'll actually go around. Then what I'm going to do, and you don't need to see it again, I will walk all the way there, and then I will join you again from the road there. We will go to the northern part. We found some Jewish evidence of the existence of Jews in the non-Jewish city here. And we will see part of the Crusader wall. Such a beautiful place. Then see you in about 3, 2, no, first let me take a picture. 3, 2. Here we are at the parking lot. Remember, as I promised you, in 1, 2, 3 I will be here. I did it so fast. That's the entrance to the sea. If you want to enjoy a nice place, not a big one, with some bars at night time, but enjoy the sea as well, the entrance is from here. King Herod built that place for Augustus, but for himself as well, because he knew that if he will build the biggest port ever, everyone will dock him at his place, and not in Alexandria, not in Tyre or whatever, here. And he was right, and he got a lot of money because of it. And he built it from 2022 BC until 10 BC. At opening day, he decided to have a huge Olympic Games, kind of. The only problem is that the sport guys didn't want to reach that area. It was far away. I mean, it's like 2-3 weeks to reach that place. Then he decided to change the system because they said only the first one will get a prize. He said, no. Second place and third place will get prizes as well. And from that day, we have 3 prizes, 3 medals in almost every game. King Herod, aha! Surprise, surprise! Oh, what a beautiful place. This is the latest part that they excavate. And we will reach the moat, the Crusader moat, and the northern gate. See that truck will cross it now. 3, 2, 1. Here it is. At the time of the Crusader, they had some bridges like, you know, all the movies that we see with all those knights made of wood. Open it up and down, up and down. Today, there's a road. And the other 2 gates, cars cannot go in, and there are some restaurants here. There are lots of places here. Then in that case, it's allowed. Then, this is the gate, or at least part of the gate. It used to be huge. There were pictures of that place from, I don't know, 100 years ago. And you could see that it reached something like 4 stories. Today, not a lot left, but you will see that it is a bridge, a gate. Here it is. Let's enter to the gate. You can see that it's turning left. You cannot go straight ahead, mainly because enemies, it will be difficult for enemies to enter to the city. Remember, this is the exit. There were towers, of course, around, and you can actually see the stairs. Oh, yes, and you can smell it. Ooh, let me run away from the toilet area. Oh gosh, it's history. Look at the moat. Another truck will cross the Crusader bridge from our time. Beautiful. Later on, if it's okay by you, I will walk through the promenade that was built or opened lately. And ta-da-da! This is a Byzantine place. Remember, the Byzantine city was bigger than the Roman city and the Crusader city. And look at the beautiful mosaic from the 2nd or 3rd century AD. Look how beautiful it is. You can see that they used here marble called color marble, made of marble, and beneath it as well. Sewage system. Beautiful, isn't it? That was a surprise when they excavate here. They didn't think that they will find it here. Then you can imagine that if they will excavate more and more and more, they will find more and more and more evidence of Caesarea. What we need is many time and money. Where we are in the map, let me show you. That is the parking lot, And that's the gate, and we are heading to the synagogue, or to the place that we believe that was a synagogue. The temple area was here, so remember the stairs, and the port, and the Roman city with the Hippodrome, the Herodian Palace, Pontius Pilate used it as well, and the theater. If you didn't see those things, it means that it's you missed the first part of the video. This is the second part. I don't know, I might join them together or maybe not. You know, when I reach my house and I will use the air condition to rest, I will think about it. The idea is to continue with that beautiful pavement until the Arabic village Jasser el-Zarqa, which you will see now soon, and they have an amazing seashore. A lot of the Jews wanted to find here the synagogues that were built here. We know that from the 3rd century until the 6th century, there were a lot of Jews here, and the Mishnah and the Talmud, the oral books of the Jews, is full with names of rabbis who wrote what to do, and they lived here. The most important synagogue here that we didn't find yet is the one that there they decided to say goodbye to the Caesar, and Vespasianus and Titus had to reach that area and to destroy Israel in a way at 70 AD. They came at 66. That's the story of Masada. That's the story of Jerusalem. Now, we know that it's a Jewish place, mainly because we found so many evidence, so Jewish evidence, capital with a menorah and something like that, but we are not sure that this was a synagogue. I believe that it was, but again, we are not sure. Here, we found some evidence from the book of Josiah. And there were 2 more mosaics floor here. Here with the inscription that say that he was the head of the synagogue and he donated something. Then maybe it was his house, maybe it was the synagogue itself. And there was another mosaic somewhere. I don't find it. It was there. It was here. Is it a synagogue? I don't know. But at the time of the Roman time, until the temple been destroyed, the synagogue was a community house. People used to gather there to study, to gossip, to talk about what's happening in the world and something like that. And after the destruction of the temple became, the synagogue became little temples. People are praying there 3 times a day. I don't know if you can see far away. There are some cars, and to the left of the cars it looks like a wall, but this is the aqueduct that was built in different periods of time by the Romans and the Byzantine. Water enter through there to the city. Without water, Caesarea won't be able to exist. We know that it might be the entrance, the main entrance, and there were rooms around here that people use. I'm not sure that they excavated all the rooms here. Maybe they just checked it. And why I think the entrance was from there, because usually when you are preparing an inscription on the floor, The idea is that when you will enter, you will find it. You will be able to read it. It's in Greek. Beautiful, isn't it? Then maybe a synagogue, maybe not. One day, I will continue from there until the aqueduct. You can do that. But because my car is in the other side, I won't do that. The smell of the plants and the smell of the sea is something that you must experience here. If you want to see part of the wall, then stay with me. If you had enough from Crusader walls, then you can say goodbye. It's a nice walk of 10 minutes. It's just been open to the public, then I might be one of the first who's doing it. Look at the crown here. And it's beautiful. And it's hot. Still beautiful. You can see now the walls of the Crusader. And that's the northern gate. I'm actually heading now to the eastern gate that we didn't visit yet. The northern part of the wall is in front of you. We already know that they actually used the same path of the Muslims. I think it was the Mamluks who controlled the place as well. You can see the towers. Now we can see it from the other side. We can see it as the enemies. See the moat, kind of the glasses. I have to pronounce it well because it's always a problem for me. Can I tell you that this is my first time that I'm doing it? And thanks God that the Crusader city is not so big. When we'll finish it, and you will be able to watch, and you actually will watch the two parts of Caesarea, I think you will be able to say, I know Caesarea. There are a few more places that I didn't take you, and that's because it's too hot. I'm not the enemy. I'm just taking video for my family. Oh, yes, you are my family from right now. You can ask me whatever you want through YouTube. And better to do that, different to do that via Facebook. My professional Facebook will be at the description together with Instagram. The Facebook, I'm uploading some of the videos that I'm taking, and I do something like 19,000, videos, but I'm adding archaeological finds and other important things that it's more than just regular Facebook. Look how beautiful it is. Never been in that part. Ta-da-da! The wall was higher than that, and soon you will see how high it was. Oh, look at the lilies. Look at it. It means that it's noon. Oh, the smell is amazing. About the rain. The last rain was in March 2021, sorry. The next one supposed to be, let's say, mostly from the beginning of November. Might be a little before, but mid of November it's started to be a rainy season. And if you ask me when to come to Israel, this is a better place. This is a better time if you don't afraid of rain. And it's not raining a lot. This rain, it can be very tough, very hard. But mostly it's not. And the air is without any smell of dust that I can smell now. Oh, look how beautiful it is. I can see the Eastern Gate. There's another entrance there because I went out of the National Reserve. I might show them my tour guide card and then they will let me go in. And what we're going to see how beautiful is the gate. And I will enter into the sea for like 2 minutes to show you where we were. Because I'm doing kind of a detour, run tour. If you reach that part of the video, it means that you are the bravest. Write me down. Tell me that you did it. Tell me if you like short videos, long videos. I know that some of you don't like me talking, but that's me. And if you don't like it, it's okay. There are other channels. They're doing almost the same thing without even a word. But I will die like that. I need the tourists, and you are my family. If you reach here, wait, because oh, look at the happy, the Chifat. It's the bird of Israel, although I can find it so many other places. That's a symbol of Israel, one of the symbols of Israel. From here, you can see how beautiful it is. All right, you can see the moat right here, and that's the gate, the Eastern Gate. You can see that wall there is high, and it was higher than that. Then in that case, you can understand that every part that you see here was part of the wall. The wall is gone because the Muslims, the 13th century, didn't want the Crusaders to come back again. It's beautiful, and I'm so happy that I still have battery. The first video was more than 1 hour, and that one is 42 minutes. I'm happy. That's the box office. Let me try to convince them that I've already been here. Is it Rachel? No, it's not. מה שלומך? עברת משם לשם? אני מורה דרך, כבר הייתי בפנים. רגע, יש לי את המצלמה על און. רחל לא עובדת היום? רחל. לא, היא בשני לא. אתה נשארת פה. רגע. נכון, לא, האמת היא, הפעם האחרונה שהייתי פה היה חורף. באתי עם אשתי והילדה. נכון? רגע, איפה?
וילונות.
יו, חם לי. בסדר? אבל שיהיה הוגן.
כן, אוקיי.
אז זהו, האמת היא שנכנסתי משם ועשיתי את הסיבוב הכי גדול שיש.
נכנסתם לו?
כן, נכנסתי, אני גם רק נכנס לשער ויוצא. עשיתי כבר את כל העיר.
את הקבלה שלהם יש לך?
לא קיבלתי קבלה, כי הם ישבו בפנים. הסתכלו על הכרטיס. השניים שעבדו שם. הם לא היו בבוט, הם היו בחוץ.
נכנסתם בלי לשלם?
אני לא צריך לשלם, אני מורה דרך.
אתה, אין.
לא, הם לא איתי, הם סתם נשים חמודות, לא קשורות אליי. ביי. אוקיי. אני בדיוק, חבל להניח. תודה. And yes, then you can see the moat and you can see the bridge. The bridge is like wasn't like that. Remember, the Crusader didn't let anyone. They didn't want, especially enemies, to enter. Then maybe it was up and down, but now we can actually walk on it. That part is one of the only remains that left from the destruction of Caesarea by the Muslims. And there's another option of the Crusader to surprise the enemy through there. But they didn't use it because they knew that if the enemy will know it, it's a huge problem for them as well. 50% of that gate is renovated, but it's renovated exactly like it used to be. And we let the beautiful ladies go in. What is here? First of all, there's a gap here. That gap is not by mistake. If someone tried to enter to here, then the enemy could throw on him hot water or whatever and stop him from entering. Another barrier was here. You see the gap here? And there was kind of a gate made of iron that went all the way down. Yeah, you saw it in so many videos. And the doors was wooden doors and metal as well. They close like that, and then another option to close it is by a log. Protected. What we found here is mostly the lower part. You can see the floating arches, which is very unique to the Crusaders. And if it doesn't look like a Romanesque Crusader art, and more like a Gothic art, then yes, I think the Crusader brought the Gothic architecture into the city. And again, to go out, you need to turn right, and there's some idea here. Hot water, oil, whatever. And straight. Now, I tell you that you will understand, you will know that place. That's where the restrooms are and the restaurant area as well. Remember that I said that there is kind of a street from the time of the Crusader, and I show you those arches from the other side. Then that is there, and you know what? Let's go through until we will reach the street area. If I didn't mention, I will mention something that you asked me 2 or 3 months ago. A lot of people wanted to support me. At the beginning it was too difficult for me because I felt like I'm begging. I'm a beggar. But then they looked at me and said, no, you're not. You're not. We want to do that. It's not that you're forcing me to do that. If you feel like that, in the description, there's a link that says buy me a coffee. And you can buy me a coffee, but that will give you a privilege to ask me to light a candle in one of the churches, to leave a note between the westernmost stone, and once in 2 weeks I'm doing it. Then this is the street itself and the shops. Tell them that they didn't renovate it yet, but they will do that. We were, let me wait in the shade, we were there at the southern wall. We saw the ancient city, the ancient Roman city from there. Forgot to mention that the name of the church that the Crusaders built was St. Peter, because St. Peter was here. And that's it. If you like that video, remember, subscribe it, and you can send that video on or a link of my YouTube channel to your churches, your friends, your families. I do have 92,000 subscribers, but my daughter Lior, my light, said that if I'm not reaching 100,000, I'm not considered to be a YouTuber. Do that. Do that. Only because I want to show her that old people can be YouTuber too. Of course I'm not a child. I'm acting like a child. I am a child. Then see you in my next video. Bye bye. We are at Caesarea. Caesarea is an ancient city, many years before the time of King Herod. But today it's a very modern city. It's actually a big village, a very expensive one. I think it's one of the richest places in Israel. Our late Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu has got a mansion here, and we're talking about mansions. The whole city is there. I don't know if you can see far away the port, the modern port for the electricity power station. Just before it, it's the Roman city. Then we are far from the Roman city. At the Byzantine time, it means that from the 5th century until the 7th century, the city got bigger and bigger and bigger. Then we are, let's say, 7 minutes drive from the old city. Then you can understand that it's quite far and quite big. And why I'm sitting here? First of all, there's a lot of shade and the pine smell is amazing. But I'm sitting here because of a beautiful villa from the end of the 6th century, the beginning of the 7th century, with beautiful mosaic. We call it the birds mosaic, and you will see soon why. Then let me just walk into it, but let me tell you that they found it at the 1950 in an army drill, but they cover it. And before that, someone actually looked at it, one of the archaeological, it didn't dig, but he just looked at it, and because of small lapse, he decided that that was a Byzantine church. Later on, we discover that it's not, and the excavation started from at 2004, and the idea was to cover it again. But after they found it, they realized that it's such a beautiful mosaic, one of the most beautiful mosaics in Israel, and they kept it like that with the promise of the rich area of Caesarea to maintain it. They were afraid because, as you can see, it's nowhere, and if someone really wants, he can steal it. And thanks God, until now, it's not. It was a very rich Christian family that lived here, and it been destroyed when the Arabs, the Muslims, entered to Israel around 640 AD. It's such a beautiful place. What we see here is only a small part of it, really a small part of it. We actually activate the mosaic, because that was the most important part. And let me show you where the mosaic is. Here it is. That's the only thing, and there's so many other rooms. It's like the entrance, the lobby. Then, even from here, you can see that the mosaic is amazing. Quality, small stones, so many colors and so many patterns. I mean, it's really, when I don't want the sun to hide it from you. But I think like here, like that, you will be able to see too. And now we're entering to kind of the open lobby. And look at the farm. Amazing, isn't it? There's so many kind of fruit trees and animals. Oh, it's so breezy here because it's in the top of a small hill. Then you can see the trying to hide from the shade. You can see some fruit and elephant. Looks like a tiger, deer. Is it horse or donkey? And a bear. A goat. Something with 4 legs. It looks like a boar. Lion, another tiger or something like that, or maybe that's a tiger. It looks like a dog. Donkey. Beautiful, isn't it? You can see that we're talking about rich family. And the Alps, I think the Alps was here somewhere. Then that's why they thought that it's a church. It was 2 stories building. We found some mosaic floor like that were from maybe from the upper part, from the roof, from there. And it was burned down. The wood was burned down, and that's why we could find some items from there. In that area, it was a water system, and it's actually the rainwater that came from all parts of the houses went into the water system. And before we will enter to the birds section, I mean, this is the reason it's called the bird house, or palace, or villa, whatever you want. We found somewhere here one of the most unique tables ever, made of gold and glass. It was like a sandwich of gold and then glass as the bread in 2 sides. It was as we believe, at the first floor, but the second floor covered it when it been destroyed. The wooden legs disappear. It looks like, if I remember, it's in the shape of the letter D, and you can find it in Museum in Tel Aviv. When I saw it for the first time, I said to myself, not only it's beautiful, it looks like such a modern art, and I just read that it's unique. Now the entrance is from there, not because I found here the mosaic, mainly because look at the birds. They're looking at you. It's something like 120 different birds. I hope that you can see something, mainly because the sun, location of the sun doesn't let me see if I'm taking the video or not, or if you can see it or not, but I'm sure that you can. Unbelievable, isn't it? That shows you that if you will excavate everywhere here, we will find evidence from the past. Oh, the smell of the pine. Look at the sky. This is the third part of the video that I prepared on ancient Caesarea. I might edit all those movies into one, but it's going to be a very long one, or upload it as it is. Unbelievable, isn't it? Oh, look at that. Look at the colors. Guys, it's from the end of the 6th century, like a million years ago. Looks like they made it yesterday. We are talking about artists. We're talking about people who knew to respect art. Beautiful, isn't it? Let's make a round tour around it, and we will say goodbye. The next stop, or the next video, will be about the aqueducts that brought water from the Mount Carmel area to the city. What we did is only that part. And the table, let me see. No, I don't see. They didn't mention where the table was found. Ah, yes, in the 5th, here, which is there. Beautiful Caesarea. I started the tour at 9 a.m. It's now 1 o'clock, 1 p.m. Then you can understand that you can visit Caesarea in 40 minutes if you don't have time. But you can do that in 1 or 2 days. Such an amazing thing, isn't it? You can see that it's covered something. Mosaic, the bird's mosaic, that's how it's called. What a nice breeze. It's 30 degrees now, around 90, but because it's high place, it's quite nice. If you want to, I will actually add some information about that mosaic in the description of that video, but there you can find a few more things. The first one will be my Facebook account, my Instagram, which I will be more than happy if you will join them. If you didn't subscribe my channel, please do that and push the button, push the bell, then you will get the latest videos from me. And on the way to the car, look at the beautiful there, see, so blue, so amazing. The way to the car, if you like those videos and you want to support me, I will be more than happy. A few weeks ago, or months ago, someone from you asked me to do that. I didn't like the idea because I felt like I'm a beggar, and I'm doing it because I like to do that. But then, because of the support that they gave me, I can actually rent some cars like I did today and travel around Israel and show you more of Israel. You don't need to do that, but you can. And it's called Buy Me a Coffee. And there you can ask me, for example, to light a candle for you, or to write a note at the Western Wall or something like that. That's the best option. I mean, you can do that in other via YouTube, but if you want me to pray for you, it will be easier for me to look at the list through Buy Me a Coffee. I'm doing it once in 2 weeks, usually in Jerusalem. Then see you in my next video. That's going to be about the aqueduct of Caesarea, and you can see a picture of it. See you. Bye bye. Water in Israel, it's a big problem. There's not a lot of rain in Israel. The rain begins at the mid of March, ends at mid of November. Today, it's not a problem because we are using desalination factories that we're taking the water from the Mediterranean Sea, and that's what I'm drinking. But here, it's the ancient part of Caesarea. I don't know if you can see the flag there, but the area of the flag is the synagogue that I visit in one of those movies that I'm prepared today. And from there, you could see, let's see if you can see now, the aqueduct. Until then, if you wanted to enjoy water, you had to build a water system or wells, because the fresh water is not so far away from here. It's easy, but if you want to have a big city, you need more than that. Then King Herod at the Roman time knew how to build aqueducts. The water came from Mount Carmel, the area of Mount Carmel, and it was good. But then the city became bigger and bigger. At the Byzantine time, a few hundred years later, we believe that there were more than 50,000 inhabitants. And in that case, you need more water. Then they almost glue to it another aqueduct. See, that's the original one. And that's the second one. And we know that the second one was built at the beginning by King Herod. Well, that's what I believe, although some people, some scholars say no. The Romans did it. We know that later on the Romans maintained it. But again, if I made a mistake, then sorry. And look how beautiful it is. Later on, they built another one, and now we're going to show you it. Then those are 2 aqueducts that support the city, the Roman bath, the swimming pool in King Herod Palace, drinking water, toilet, whatever. They had a lot of water. This is the non-authorized seashore. That's why, sadly, it's not as clean as it's supposed to be. But later on, there's another seashore that you can use. It's beautiful, isn't it? Until we reach a beautiful place, let me tell you that at the description, I will add some more information about the aqueducts, and you will be able to connect me via Facebook and Instagram, or here through YouTube. It's difficult to walk on sandstone, on sand. It's beautiful. The first one that was built, you can use it today. The second one that was glued to it, you have to maintain it more. They built it in the wrong way. And the Mount Carmel is there. beautiful, isn't it? When I was young, I used to climb on those small hills. Believe me, it's there. I mean, you can do that. But I want to show you the third aqueduct. The aqueducts served the city from 1st century, from the time of King Herod, until the 13th century. And that's where the Muslim ruler Byzantine destroy the aqueducts and destroy Caesarea. He didn't want the Crusader to use that place again forever. And then this is the third one. You can actually walk in it. No, it's not hot at all. Just waiting. Oh, a little bit of breeze, I need it. Just waiting for my air-conditioned car. When I was young, I used to climb it. I took few videos of the city of Caesarea. It's quite long, I must say. The first one is more than an hour. The second one is almost an hour. And another two, which are shorter. And I don't know if I will add it into one long video or leave it like that. It won't let me use it if I climb from here. Let me see if I can climb from there, and if not, believe me, it's an aqueduct. Here it's blocked too by the bush. All right, I think you're going to believe me. Here it is. Then that's the last one, and here there's another two. My dears, thank you very much. It was a lovely day, a long and hot day, but I did it. Thank you very much. Don't forget to subscribe me, please. You are part of my family from right now. See you in my next video.